sandstorms and dust storms. End of the day, the microphone's tired.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Abir Al-Abri from Kuwait, Kiba, Environmental Public Authority. I would like to explain something about the sand and the storm and how it's affected in the economic side of Kuwait. As we know, somebody, maybe you don't know where is of Kuwait. Kuwait is in Western Asia. It is situated in the north part of Arabian Peninsula in arid lands. It is affected in the high temperature, is reaching 50 degrees in the summer and 20 degrees in the winter. And we have neighbors with Iraq and also the Saudi Arabia. So, Kuwait is exposed about 100 days every year from the sand and the storm, and it is affecting in the economic side, such as oil sector, roads, the health, and many economic side. And I will explain some data. We making the researching with the KISR, Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research, how the sand and the storm affecting in the economic side, like the economic impact in the airline, it is cost about $29,000 of Kuwait yearly because for delay and stop or cancel the airline. And about the oil sector for production or transportation, it is affecting more than 3 million Kuwaiti dinar. And if you know about the dollar, you can multiply by 3, you can know how it's much is cost in economic side. And also about how removal the sand from scientific places, especially the scientific like the oil boreholes and defense places, it's cost more than 3,500,000 Kuwaiti dinars. So Kuwait, this is a global issues because this is the problem. It is not the sources of the sand and the storm from Kuwait, but but the affecting come from the another country like from Iraq and Syria and Saudi Arabia. So it is the global issues, and we're sharing now tomorrow inshallah with the Iraq about a huge project to solving the sources of the sand in the storm and give collaborating for this issue and capacity building and mitigation to release the sand dust storm for affecting in the Kuwait, especially case and Arabian Peninsula. Thank you.
Thank you very much. More of a case for the economics and the economic information, I think. Thank you very much. As I said, there's 2 empty seats. Who wants to come on the stage? If you want to, if we can form an orderly queue, if you stick your hand up if you have an intervention you would like to make. Ranjay, we have one here, and Pier Paolo, would you like to come onto the stage now? And we'll make it a bit more participatory, have some interventions from the audience, and then some more questions which can target any of our panelists, including the new ones as well. It's great that we've got some burning issues from the audience that people want to discuss. That's really good. So I don't know who wants to go first. Ranjay, maybe if you can get the microphone working, then you can go first.
Hello, everyone. I am Ranjay K. Singh, working as a principal scientist at Central Soil Salinity Research Institute, Karnal. That institute is attached with Indian Council of Agricultural Research. So basically we are dealing with the issue of land degradation, and that is salinity. And you know that India has currently 6.73 million hectares of land affected by either the man-made or the natural salinity. And because of that, millions of food productions we are losing every year. So the key point I wanted to mention that if there is a proper coordination, strong linkages between the practitioner, science and policymaker, we can arrest the land degradation, particularly due to the salinity. And at present, with the strong science and policy interface, we have been able to control, to arrest 2 million hectares of land about, and with that piece of land, we are contributing about 16 million tons every year in national food basket. But still, based on the current experiences with the different stakeholders we are dealing, there is a huge gap, mismatch in the sectoral policies. If those sectoral policies are aligned together properly, we can arrest the other piece of land, which by 2015 is going to become around 16 million hectares of land due to only salinity. So those pace of degradation and the current pace of arrest, there is a large gap, and these gaps are due to the mismatching policy. And once again, I would like to submit that if there is a proper coordination between the practitioner, we can make that, that gap in a short period of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ranjay. It's important to raise other issues. We just heard about the dust and the sandstorms, salinity, another important form of land degradation. Pier Paolo, I don't know if you want to follow on from that in terms of other forms of land degradation that perhaps haven't been discussed so much.
Yes, thank you. I would like to draw your attention on an issue that is rarely considered in this domain of UNCCD, but it's affecting millions of people, particularly in Africa and in India. The contamination of water and land from fluoride due to natural reasons, it's usually in volcanic area, it becomes a serious land management problem in specific context. The excess of fluoride in the diet caused by such contamination generates a serious health problem, the fluorosis, particularly to children, with damages to teeth, bones, and neurological diseases. So this is mainly caused by the excess fluoride concentration in water, in drinking water, but also by the contamination of food produced in contaminated soil. Soils can be contaminated by irrigation water or naturally. The Flowered project, which is funded by the European Union, is addressing this issue in the Rift Valley in Eastern Africa through a participatory and interdisciplinary approach. And we noticed that the perception of the affected people is biased by local beliefs. The disease has no name in Swahili, for instance, or in other local languages, and the affected people are often discriminated. While millions of people are affected, governments do not have yet a strategic plan for this eradication of fluorosis through a sustainable land management approach. So my question to the panel is, we are trying to reframe the fluorosis problem as a land management issue in the context of a broader land health nexus. What spaces you see in the land LDN or UNCCD processes for addressing such kind of issues?
Thank you very much. It's a really important point linking to human health. Do any of our panelists want to provide a response to that? No? Nobody has anything to say about the links between land degradation and human health?
These issues has been addressed by, for instance, UNICEF as a disease, but never framed as a land management issue, while this is the case in our...
Lee, please take the floor.
Yes, in India too, it has been observed by the number of research institutions that wherever land degradation is going on, either due to only land or due to the water, that nexus, there is a number of heavy metals are coming up in the water quality is being deteriorated, and because of the consumption of those waters, a number of health issues are coming up. And for that, now there are inter-institutional collaborations in the place to tackle how best the land degradation is if managed, how the health can be improved. So if anybody has special questions, even after the session, we can discuss in greater details. So that issue is also in India, and the people are aware, science people are also aware, the policy makers are also aware, and they are trying to support those kinds of issues together.
Okay, thank you, Ranjay. Lee.
So yes, land health and human health is a clear link. I don't want to talk about fluorosis because it's very geologically related as well. But absolutely, if we can start framing land health with human health and bringing in the social ecological dimensions together, I think that's really important. And I wanted to also take the opportunity, since we're mentioning other indicators of land degradation, I think a really key indicator that's been missing in LDN is this idea of soil erosion. It's the most widespread form of land degradation. It's very easy to observe, and we've proven that we can map this at 5 meter, 30 meter, 250 meter resolution depending on the satellite. And I think it's a nice indicator that really tells us about land degradation, and so I think it could be proposed along with salinity and these other, but definitely land health and human health is where we should start linking now the UNCCD and LDN indicators with the other conventions.
Thank you very much. Anyone else want to comment on that point? Martin.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. And if we start thinking about cities, so urban ecosystems and where people live, there's now a growing body of evidence which shows that people who live in parts of cities that are greener, that have higher quality natural environments, have lower incidences of all sorts of diseases. So they have lower incidence of mental health complaints, lower instances of cardiovascular disease. Amongst women, pregnant women, for example, there are lower incidences of low birth weight at birth when people are living in areas of cities that are surrounded by greener environments. So there's a clear link between the quality of the natural environment, so the quality of land, and human health. And I think it would be a fantastic thing to start exploring more within the context of UNCCD.
Thank you. Do we have any more interventions from the floor? So we've got 3 or 4. Can I ask some of our panelists to do a bit of a swap? So we've got some free seats. If we have 3 panelists that leave, we can have 3 that will join the stage. It looks like that's the end for the departing panelists. So can I invite our new panelists to come up and join?
Can I?
So if you can just introduce yourself and say who you are and where you're from and the point that you would like to make.
So my name is Tainara Arson. I'm from Madagascar, from GSTM. GSTM is a national organism dealing on agroecology. In order to make my intervention more clear, I would like to speak in French, and if someone can translate.
Do we have somebody who's willing to translate? Jean-Luc, are you okay to translate?
Je tiens d'abord à féliciter le secrétariat et le SPA pour cette journée très riche. Et je tiens également à féliciter pour les avancées des réflexions, actuellement avec une vision très holistique, très inclusive et très systémique.
So, I would like to congratulate you for this meeting and for the holistic approach we already have, and also the Secretariat and you provide the option possibility for this discussion.
Mais si je reviens au cas de Madagascar à l'échelle nationale, actuellement la mise en œuvre des actions publiques est très sectorisée.
If I come back to the case of Madagascar, the public policy are very sectorized, sector specific.
Il y a le ministère de l'Environnement et du Développement durable qui traite tout ce qui est action environnementale, tout ce qui traite les conventions des Nations Unies.
So some of the ministries are looking after environment issues, some other ministries are looking after international conventions.
Et il y a le ministère de l'Agriculture, de l'Élevage et de la Pêche qui traite le développement rural et agricole.
And the Minister of Agriculture is looking after agriculture, after husbandry and after fisheries.
Et il y a la primature qui traite beaucoup sur les questions sécuritaires.